everyone, I am Charlie Matthews, and welcome back to, well, my channel. Yes, believe it or not, for the past months I have actually been doing something else other than making a bunch of Hello Neighbor gameplay videos. And that is thinking about what I want to do with my channel in 2022 and even onward. You know, anything to keep me from going outside. So after thinking aimlessly for about a week, I went screw it and hit the reset button for my channel. Now you may be saying, but Charlie, I want to watch your old cringy videos. Well, don't fret, because I'm not completely resetting my channel. It's more of a metaphorical thing. Think of it as a new age, a new era for my channel. Or in other words, yes, you can still watch whatever this is.
Hello everyone, I am Charlie Matthews, and welcome to my channel. This is my very first video on my channel. This is in fact my Kickstarter video, just to get you started on the channel. So obviously I'm Charlie Matthews, I just said that. My channel is called Charlie Matthews. That should be right. So yeah, just to start the Kickstarter.
So now I'm pretty sure I've got you up to date on what I've been doing these past lonely months. So let's get a sneak peek. Ow! Ow! Jesus Christ! Ah! Jesus Christ on a bike! Who did that? Me. Who? Me. Sorry, who? Oh my god. Me! Who? Jesus Christ, it's me! Who? Me! Anderson, do you not remember me? Oh no, it's my evil counterpart, Evil Charlie! Who are you talking to? My audience. You know what? I'm not even gonna ask. And my name isn't Evil Charlie, it's Anderson. You're sure you don't want to know about my audience? Well, I mean, oh god damn it, look. I'm only here because I want my house back. Alright, first, this isn't your house. I've lived here my entire life. And secondly, how did you get in? Because I have this key, which further proves the point that I live here. Look, do you need to get to a homeless shelter or something? I'll get help for you, but as long as you get out of my house. Oh my god, look, there's an alternative reality version of you behind you. Oh my god, please look. This is just sad at this point. Oh! So everyone, before I end this 2022 channel trailer, let's get a sneak peek. Shut up! Let's get a sneak peek at all of the new fresh content we have for the coming months. I'll figure it out. Maybe more Hello Neighbor? Hello everyone, I am Charlie Matthews, and welcome back to another video. Now, when you think of Valve, what do you exactly think of? Do you think of Steam? Do you think Steam Deck? And do you think of whatever the hell this is? Do you think Half-Life? Do you think Half-Life 2? Do you think Half-Life Alyx? Do you think of... I think they get the point. Shut up! Do you think Team Fortress? Do you think Team Okay, this is actually getting tiring. Well, when I think of Valve, I think of, in my opinion, their best series, Portal. In the year 2007, Valve released a little game called Portal, after hiring most of a group of developers who created a game named Nabacula Drop, which caught their eye. It was first released in the famously known Orange Box Collection on the 10th of October 2007. Reviews called it the most original game of 2007, although there was criticism for it having a limited storyline and short duration. It was made up for, with its humorous dialogue quite ahead of its time, original gameplay and dark story. It is now known today by some people as one of the best games ever made. Following on from this success, Valve announced Portal 2 in 2010, which then released on the 18th of April 2011. As many can imagine, the Portal game's gameplay is about, well, portals. You get a portal gun that can help you shoot blue and orange portals throughout the game. In simple terms, go through orange portal, come out blue portal, go through blue portal, come out orange portal. Throughout the game, you use the portal gun to solve test chambers in the abandoned Aperture laboratories, while being watched by the sentient AI, GLaDOS. In my opinion, I agree with what a lot of the reviews said. The gameplay is very unique, especially for the time. The humour is funny and the story is very dark and interesting. But I think that there is one thing from the first game that went very underappreciated by reviewers. And that is the environment. As soon as you start Portal up, the game instantly shows you what the environment and atmosphere is going to be like. Desolate, lonely, almost like you're being watched. It even shows the first area in a camera-like view, with the menu occasionally turning left and right, like a camera. Once you get through the menu and start the game, you wake up in the first area, a giant glass box with a toilet, bed, and a radio, playing one of the most iconic music known from the game. Fun little fact actually, leading up to the announcement of Portal 2, Valve released a new update to the original game, adding an extra achievement where, if you took the radio to certain places throughout the game, you would unlock strange new transmissions coming from it. When decoded, these would unlock mysterious new messages and images. After getting an announcement from GLaDOS beginning your test, you walk out the portal and are instantly introduced to the atmosphere and environment of the game. Windows showing rooms hard to make out, making you think you could be being watched by scientists still in the facility. Cameras following your every move, adding to the claustrophobic and being watched aspect. Repetitive panels fill the rooms, making you feel lost and confused and maybe even think, how far does this place go? All of these little details and touches make the environment and atmosphere feel lonely but claustrophobic at the same time. A feeling of hopelessness and wonder of what could be outside, but also a feeling like someone, or maybe even something, is watching your every move. There's also these strange dens you can find throughout the game, which lore-wise are made by a man called Doug Ratman, specifically a man who worked on the AI GLaDOS, who then went rogue and nearly killed every scientist in the Aperture Laboratories facility. After that, he helped the surviving scientists attach personality cores to her to keep her at bay, and then he just went on to live in the facility, giving us clues and messages about the lore. These spooky and mysterious dens add to the feeling of desolateness. Is Ratman the one watching us? And if so, where is he? Is he in the weird window rooms watching us just out of our line of sight? Or something else? It's stuff like this that captivates the player, that keeps them wondering about the lore and story of this mysterious laboratory and its test subjects. What their lives were like living off of the scraps of the facility and avoiding GLaDOS and her deadly traps. It's not only the visuals and design of the test chambers that adds to the lonely feeling of the game, it's also done through the music and ambience of the game. Here is an extract from the track Self-Esteem Fund from the OST of Portal. This is honestly my all-time favourite soundtrack in the game, because it plays such a vital part in making you feel alone in this facility, with the slow and soft sound of dark ambience, filling you with feelings of dread and hopelessness in this abandoned and lonely environment. The ambience is honestly the cherry on the cake for me here. Here is a clip of the ambience from one of the test chambers in the game and one of the final locations. When I was playing, this ambience genuinely creeped me out. The creaks of rusty metal and machinery, and the sounds of the energy balls bouncing on and off the walls that could kill a test subject in seconds. All of these details added up create one of the most lonely, desolate, but also claustrophobic and being stalked atmospheres and environments in gaming history. Even though Portal 2 stands, and probably always will stand, as my favourite game in the Portal series, and even out of every Valve game out there, because of its longer duration, even funnier dialogue, and cooler puzzles, I still think it will never capture the loneliness and claustrophobicness that the first game captured so well. And that is why I think Portal's liminal space atmospheres and environments are some of the best in gaming history. Ow! Ow! Hey, get back here! You gotta be kidding me. He escaped. Just when I was about to set him free. Hello everyone, I am Charlie Matthews, and welcome back to another video. Today I have decided that instead of actually doing something with my life, I'm going to sit in my stinky room and talk about sports games. Sports games. Games about sports. Sports games tend to simulate sports like football, tennis, and snooker by testing a player's accuracy, timing, and precision. And I definitely understand all of those things, so today I'm going to review a select 3 on the PlayStation 2, starting with FIFA 2004. I don't think it's loading. Starting with International Snooker Championship. Oh, thank God! So after starting up the game, this really chill music comes on, and honestly, I could dance to this all day. For the match settings, I chose the private jet to feel just at home, 3 frames because I think I'll die if I go on any longer, and an amateur setup and beginner help level, because pool tables scare me. We start up a match and see this. Player 1 coin toss, player 1 choose, play or make a right break. Were the people who wrote this on drugs? I think I'll pass. Right, here comes the time where my accuracy must be tested. Let's beat this thing.
But I thought that was how you play snooker.
Well, that was fun. Time to move on to the next game, Pro Evolution Soccer 3.
As soon as we start the game up, it says that it's changing the commentary language.
What does it mean?
We have a kick-ass intro and then get to the menu, and we have a lot of options to work with. We have match mode, league mode, cup mode, master league mode, training mode, edit mode, and finally Master XD Jedi Knight Epic Sword Big Hero mode. I'll go with training mode because footballs scare me. I'm not too scared though, because I picked the hardest training difficulty. Am I cool now? Yes, finally, the game is starting. I'm so ready to use my accuracy and precision skills to win this game. Seriously, I can just leave my controller here and the entire game just plays itself.
Alright, I think we should move on before I go mentally insane. So on to the last, and probably best game out of the 3, Toka Race Driver.
I actually used to play this game all the time when I was younger. Booting up my parents' PS2 and just playing a few matches or so with my mum. It was really fun, even if I was terrible at it. After surviving the absolute acid vat that was the Codemasters startup, we get to the opening cutscene.
Oh, the nostalgia!
Oh no, he crashed. I totally don't want to skip this cutscene. There are a lot of car types to choose from. I went for the Lotus Elise, because all the other car types scare me. I also chose Rockingham, because it looked like a cowboy hat, and...
Cowboys are cool.
To speed up in this game, you have to push down the X button really hard, which is surely gonna leave a bruise one day. Honestly, I don't have much to talk about for this game. It's pretty much what you would expect from a PS2 racing game.
Honestly, I think these sports games have given me a new outlook on life. I think that they have taught me that if I want a real sports experience, I should just go outside and, well, play sports. That's right. Yes, I should play sports. I should go outside, get dressed, and play sports. I should actually do something and play sports. I should get my friends and play some sports. Well, what am I waiting for? Let's do it!
I invited my friends Harry and Grayson to come play sports with me. Remember that I definitely did not pay them to do this.
Hey you, pay up.
Alright, Harry, kick the ball. Why? Okay, Grayson, kick the ball. Ah!
I think he's dead.
Oh my god.
Is there a Charlie Matthews here?
Okay, so if you're the police, there's no one here. If you're just a random pedestrian walking around, then there he is.
What did you do?
He knocked him out. I'm sorry, we knocked him out. I'm sorry, I knocked him out.
How about we play a game?
What game? But if we do play a game, can we play with my little pony ball for $2.99 on Amazon?
A game of sports. I win, I take ownership of the house. You guys win, and everything stays the same.
That's a weird deal, but alright then.
God damn it!
Here's Charlie, lad, right? We just made a deal with this little geezer over there who looks just like yous.
Oh, I guess we're wearing different clothes now. Oh, what was that you were saying? Oh, God! If
I win, I keep the house. If you win, I leave you alone for a few more episodes. You can play sports? I do have a fair share of moves. Alright then, bring it on. I got it! I got it!
Aha!
Oh my god. How do we beat him?
Guys, I might have an idea.
Ready for the final round?
Ah! Yes! Finally! I'm gonna win! Oh!
Oh, the third time this year!
Yeah! Wait, isn't this technically cheating?
Cheese it.
Hey, get back here! Well, I'm probably never doing that again. Oh, we left the ball! Hello everyone, I am Charlie Matthews, and I'm scared! I'm currently hiding in the bathroom right now from my evil twin brother, Evil Charlie! I guess he lied about leaving me alone for a few more episodes. Or maybe that's because I hit him with a gun again. Anyway, I guess I'm meant to talk to you about something today, but I don't really want to do it in a bathroom. I guess I'm gonna have to show you some old footage. That'll work. I should probably give you some context before I show you this video. Basically, I entered a contest for a news channel where I had to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of technology. I tried to make it really serious, and it seemed like it worked because I won. Or maybe that was because I was the only one who entered the contest. Oh well, enjoy the video.
Where are you, you bitch?
Hello, and welcome to tonight's evening news. Technology has become a massive part of our daily lives, more than ever now, because of the bad impact of COVID-19. Kids enjoy using their iPads and watching TV. Teens enjoy playing video games like Minecraft and using their phone to communicate with their friends and parents. A lot more adults now do work online. A good example of this can actually be my mother, who after the bad impact of the coronavirus in 2020, actually enjoyed the change of online work and still does it today. What we should ask ourselves though, and what a lot of people ask themselves or others today is, has technology caused a positive or negative impact on our society? The main goal of today's story is to explore and hopefully answer that question by going into the deep depths of technology's history and then weighing the advantages and disadvantages of the software and hardware that's become a massive part of our daily lives. The best thing we should do to start off our investigation is familiarising ourselves with the history of technology and how it has taken over our lives over the years. This article from weforum.org that was released on the 16th of February 2018 shows how technology has risen to the top of our lives throughout the decades. Some good examples of this is that cable TV went from 7.60% of usage in 1968 to 65.7% in 1997. The dishwasher went from 1.10% in 1922 all the way to 69.30% in 2011. Same goes for high percentages with the colour TV, from when it was quite a luxury in 1966, with it only being 10%, but then it sprouted up to the top in 2005, with it then becoming a revolutionary 96% of usage. These are very good examples that show how technology has taken over our lives over the years, with essential household items going from water heaters to things like tablets, computers and TVs becoming an important part of our daily lives. Now that we have gotten familiar with the brief history of technology, it is time we answer the question: has technology made an overall bad or good impact on our society? We will weigh the advantages and disadvantages to answer this complicated question, starting with the advantages. There are some very good examples that prove that technology can be useful in dangerous and normal situations. With the modern advances of technology, scientists can now predict hazards such as tsunamis, tornadoes, and hurricanes. For years, this has been a very reliable and useful tool that has stopped a lot more people from dying. Technology has also helped people in hospitals. Using VR, surgeons can practice operations virtually, and if they make a mistake, it doesn't matter, and then they can learn from it. Talking about more normal situations, technology has helped people stay together with apps like FaceTime, WhatsApp, and Messenger. It has also helped people carry on with work online, with stuff like Zoom, Google Meet, and Amazon Chime. This was heavily used in 2020 when the pandemic hit. Now that we have discussed the advantages of technology, it's time we talk about the disadvantages. These are usually a drive that people use to prove that technology has done nothing but ruin the world and the way that we live. Here are some examples. Hacking has been around since pretty much the start of technology and the internet. Even though it can sometimes be used for good things, like detecting flaws in security systems, and then giving feedback to companies on how to fix them, it is usually used for bad things. Hacking has caused a lot of terrible things for big companies. An example of this is the recent GTA 6 leak. A hacker accessed Rockstar Games' internal feed and then started leaking a bunch of gameplay for the next Grand Theft Auto. The hacker then told Rockstar Games that if they didn't pay them a large fee, that they would then release more leaks. Viruses are sort of an advanced version of hacking. Whether it be through a mysterious fake email or weird website, viruses can invade the user's computer and do all sorts to it. An example of this is the I love you virus, where people with a Windows computer got an email saying I love you, and once they clicked on the text file attached to it, a deadly virus would invade their computer. First, the virus would invade the local machine, overwriting random files. Then, the virus would copy itself onto all the addresses on the Windows address book, allowing it to spread much faster than any other virus. Technology could take away a lot of people's jobs as well. According to this report by the PwC, by the mid-2030s, up to 30% of jobs could be automatable, with slightly more workers being affected in the long run, as autonomous vehicles and other machines replace many manual tasks, where their share of employment is higher. Now that we have looked through the history of technology, the advantages of technology, and the disadvantages of technology, I think it's finally time I give my overall opinion on the question. In my opinion, technology can have a negative or positive impact depending on how people use it. The good and bad things about technology were all made by humans. Technology was made by humans in the first place. Depending on how people have used technology will make a positive or negative impact on our society. It can be both positive and negative, depending on how people have used technology in the past. Though in conclusion, in no matter the way you see it, technology will always be a vital part in our lives for the years to come. This is Charlie Matthews, signing off. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I've been in this bathroom now for about an hour, and I'm starting to go numb. Why don't I just face him? I've defeated him before. I can surely do it again. Well, here I go. there you are. I've been looking all over for you. What are you doing here? Now, you said you were going to leave me alone for a few more episodes. Now, I was going to keep to that promise, until I realised that I could just come back here, grow a pair, and fight you myself. Okay. Surrendering, I see. Wait, you don't seem scared or threatened at all. Oh, yep. I kind of forgot about that, didn't I? Yes, okay, I should probably just leave then. Just to let you know, though, I will come back, and I will have a few tricks up my sleeve next time. Okay, now are you going to leave? Because I do not have all day, and I will not hesitate to use this gun. Okay, I'm going. Oh, yeah, I guess I have a new room now. You know, being in that bathroom for so long just kind of made me forget what to do today. Wait, I need to do my hourly check of how long until Hello Neighbor 2 releases. It's Christmas time again. People are putting up their stockings and trees. The snow is falling down in all the other countries. And people are giving each other gifts to show how much they love one another. This is what Christmas is all about. It's not all about the gifts. It's about spending time with your family and friends. The gifts are just a way to express how, deep down, we all care for one another, as well as the decorations and tradition. Wait. Hello Neighbor 2 is coming out! No! In the year 2016, a game called Hello Neighbor was announced. It was developed by Dynamic Pixels, now known as Eerie Guest Studios, and published by Tiny Build Games. The game was about sneaking into your creepy neighbour's house to find out what he is hiding in his basement. The twist, though, is that the neighbour is controlled by an advanced AI that learns from your every move. They released a few alphas and 2 betas before finally putting out the full release on the 8th of December 2017. The game was a massive financial success, and the developers would continue to release more games like Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek in 2018, Secret Neighbor in 2019, and Hello Engineer in 2021. And today we're going to ignore the happiness of Christmas and take a look back at the Hello Neighbor games, starting with the original Hello Neighbor. Hello Neighbor follows the story of Nicky Roth as he's kicking a ball down the street. Nicky goes to pick up his ball before noticing his weird neighbour, Mr. Peterson, locking someone up in his basement. Curious to what is happening, Nicky decides to sneak into Mr. Peterson's house to get into his basement. Nicky successfully breaks into the basement before being kidnapped by Mr. Peterson. Months pass until Nicky is freed by seemingly that person he saw being locked up all that time ago. Nicky manages to escape Mr. Peterson's house and get back home. Years later, Nicky is now an adult and living in an apartment. Unfortunately, he gets evicted and is forced to move back to his childhood home in the town of Ravenbrooks. He comes back to realise that a lot has changed. Mr. Peterson, the man he still fears to this day, is completely gone, and his house has been burnt down. Nicky moves back into his old house, but can't help but feel an unnerving presence, almost like Mr. Peterson is still there, watching him. Nicky goes to sleep to try and forget about all the trauma that he went through for those young years in his life.
Nicky wakes up, but everything is different. His house now looks like what it was all those years ago, and Mr. Peterson is back, with a way bigger house than before. Nicky manages to fight through all the traumas and fears that he had faced when he was only a kid, and gets into the basement again, so he can give one final blowback to his bad memories. Nicky wakes back up in the real world, finally getting over his trauma of Mr. Peterson and moving on to start a new life in his childhood home of Ravenbrooks. If that story alone doesn't convince you how wild this first entry is, then the gameplay might. You see, when I said this game was a financial success, that doesn't necessarily mean that it was a good game. In fact, far from it. I'll just roll the footage.
Oh, we're back here? Oh shit. Okay, so it's like we just came out of Blight Town and we're back in Firelink Shrine. What? What? What?
What the fuck? Interp pushed me. Whoa, is this nighttime all the time? Nope. $30.
Yeah, so when Hello Neighbor released, fans were surprised to see that the gameplay was extremely buggy. And just to make that worse, the advanced AI that the developers promised barely worked. You can probably tell how disappointing this release was for a lot of fans, also considering that the game had to be delayed by nearly 4 months, with it having an original release of August 29th, 2017. This devastating launch of the game caused a lot of fans to fall out with the Hello Neighbor series, but I was not one of those people. Look, I was literally 9, if not younger, when I got the game for Christmas, and I remember absolutely loving it. If I was the age I am today when the first game came out, I probably would have ended up still liking it, but probably more for the art style and story than the god-awful gameplay. Oh yeah, about the art style. The art style evolved a lot throughout the development of the first game, with it starting with a really realistic art style, which I think fit the scary atmosphere of the original alphas, to evolving into a really cartoony art style, which almost looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. A lot of people actually criticised the game for this strange change of setting, but in my honest opinion, I don't really mind it. I mean, yeah, the game isn't scary at all now, but I think the wacky art style fits the unintended, wacky nature of the full release. Trust me, if the full game was anything like the alphas, the Looney Tunes art style would feel really out of place in my opinion. Even though Hello Neighbor is a pretty bad game, I just can't help but go back and enjoy it now and then. It's sort of a guilty pleasure of mine to go back to this game that I know is objectively bad, and just kind of enjoy it for a little bit. It's kind of a sort of so bad it's good sort of situation for me. But despite backlash from fans on this broken full release, tinyBuild and Dynamic Pixels still had plans for future games. In 2018, a mysterious ARG appeared that would lead people to a website with an alpha build for a new Hello Neighbor game. This new game turned out to be Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, and it was officially announced at PAX West 2018. Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek is a prequel to the original Hello Neighbor game, taking place before Mr. Peterson's complete downward spiral. The story of Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek follows Maya Peterson, Mr. Peterson's daughter, while she is playing hide and seek with Aaron Peterson, Mr. Peterson's son. They keep playing hide and seek for a bit while collecting toys, until they get called for food. Some time passes until Maya and Aaron Peterson play some cops and robbers. After they're done, they expect to be called for food, but they aren't. They inspect the kitchen to find that Mr. and Mrs. Peterson are gone. A day or two passes and Aaron and Maya Peterson's parents still aren't home, so they decide to play a game to pass the time. Mr. Peterson does come back, but this time without his wife. What happened was that Mr. and Mrs. Peterson got in a car crash. Mr. Peterson survived, but sadly his wife didn't. A month passes and the Peterson family is in shambles. Mr. Peterson has fallen into massive depression, ignoring his kids and just watching TV all day. Aaron Peterson has become really aggressive, lashing out on his sister, Maya Peterson, who is trying to keep things optimistic, but failing. Maya ends up convincing Aaron to play a game, but he gets a little carried away at the end and hurts her. Mr. Peterson comes upstairs to call his kids for food, but when they get there, Aaron lashes out and steals his sister's doll. Aaron runs back upstairs to his room. Maya follows him to try and comfort him so she can get her doll back, but before she can get what she wants, Aaron wants to play another game. Aaron makes Maya count before going to hide. Maya searches for him and ends up on top of the roof of the Peterson house. She gets her doll back before Aaron sneaks up behind her and lashes out again. But this time, it causes him to push her off the roof. The game ends with a shot of Mr. Peterson burying Maya's body at the back of the Peterson house. As dark as that story is, the gameplay is actually quite light-hearted and simple. The main goal in each stage of Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek is to collect all the toys around the level and put them in a basket that is also located somewhere in the map. Despite the simple task, there is someone who wants to stop our fun though, our brother, Aaron Peterson. A lot like Mr. Peterson in the first game, Aaron Peterson is the advanced AI in this one. And yes, I still do it like this, because I swear to God, the AI in this one is literally the exact same as the first games. It just looks like dynamic pixels weren't bothered to improve the AI in any way, shape or form in this prequel. Father like son, I guess. One improvement that I actually kinda like though, is if you get caught, Aaron actually takes some of your toys and rehides them. It adds a sort of consequence to not being careful in the game. You can literally turn it off in the settings though, so there's that. The art style in this one is pretty much the exact same as the first games, which isn't really bad, and actually makes sense, since apparently Hide and Seek was actually meant to be DLC for the first game at some point, but it became bigger than expected, so it ended up becoming a standalone game instead. Overall, I actually like this one. Wow, a Hello Neighbor game that Charlie actually likes. Big shocker. I mean, yeah, the wackiness and jankiness of the first game is definitely still there, but the AI in this one wasn't necessarily the main feature that was advertised, much unlike the first game, and the jankiness is way less noticeable because of the simpler gameplay style. I mean, yes, it's definitely still there, but happens way less, unless obviously you're purposefully trying to mess around and make it happen. Even though this new game expanded the Hello Neighbor franchise quite a bit, because of the disastrous first entry, at least to the general public, the Hello Neighbor series was dead. Although, I think there was one Hello Neighbor game that was in development around the time that Hide and Seek released, that I think gave the Hello Neighbor series a boost of relevance online. And that game is
Secret Neighbor. Secret Neighbor was announced at E3 2018 and took a big spin on the Hello Neighbor series. Secret Neighbor is a multiplayer game where up to 6 players are put into Mr. Peterson's house, where the main goal is, you guessed it, getting into the basement. Well, that's at least the goal for 5 players. You see, one of the players is secretly assigned as Mr. Peterson in disguise, whose goal is to capture all the kids and prevent them from getting into the basement. Since Secret Neighbor is more online and fun-based than lore-heavy, there isn't really that much story to this one, but according to the lore, Secret Neighbor takes place in between Act 1 and Act 2 of the original game. Nicky's friends start wondering where he went after the events of Act 1, and link it to Mr. Peterson. Every match is basically inside the kids' heads, planning how to get into the basement, which explains why there are multiple houses and how they're so wild. Yeah, so that's the story of Secret Neighbor. It's really weird not seeing that as a full paragraph. Well, onto the gameplay, I guess. This is also the first Hello Neighbor game to actually not be developed by Dynamic Pixels or Eerie Guest. It's actually developed by Hologriff. That, fun fact by the way, TinyBuild actually invested $3 million into after the release of Secret Neighbor to help in their future games. In Secret Neighbor, there are about 10 classes in total, at least at the time of writing this, with 6 for the kids and 4 for Mr. Peterson. First, let's look at the kid classes. The leader can buff the speed of all nearby players and can blind Mr. Peterson if nearby. Brave has the ability to escape Mr. Peterson's grip while stunning him in the process. The Inventor can craft useful items using cogwheels that you can collect around the house. These items consist of a hammer, a flashlight, a saucepan, keycards for these special keycard doors located around the house, a toy rifle, and he can also allow the other kids to use passages Mr. Peterson can usually only use. The Scout can use acorns as ammo for his slingshot to fire at Mr. Peterson. If you ever run out of ammo for the slingshot though, you can reload at the bags of acorns located around the houses. The Detective gets photos of a location with a key to the basement that other players can't see, which adds a little challenge to the situation. The final kid class is the Bagger, who has an additional inventory slot. If he keeps his inventory full for a period of time, he will receive another slot. This can be useful for keeping important items in your inventory like keys, as well as miscellaneous ones like boxes to throw at Mr. Peterson. Now let's take a look at the Mr. Peterson or Neighbor classes. The first is pretty much just normal Mr. Peterson, or as the game likes to call him, the Neighbor. Each Neighbor class has 3 different abilities, with this one having Disguise, Bear Trap, and Rage. Disguise allows Mr. Peterson to transform into the kid nearest to him. Bear Trap is, you guessed it, allows Mr. Peterson to put down bear traps that stun kids when they walk into them. Rage gives Mr. Peterson a big speed boost and makes him invulnerable for a short time after getting hit 7 times in a row. The Clown Neighbor, that yes was based off this old creepy concept art, has Smoke Bomb, Confusion, and Camouflage. Smoke Bomb gives Mr. Peterson some smoke bombs that slow down and slightly damage kids when thrown at. Confusion allows kids to escape your grip, but become confused and dazed after. Camouflage allows Mr. Peterson to disguise himself as a household object to trick kids. The way to tell that an object is Mr. Peterson in disguise is if it has a mustache on it. The Butcher has Meat Hook, Pathfinder, and Fake Crows. Meat Hook gives Mr. Peterson a hook that, if aimed correctly, instantly catches a kid. Honestly, whenever I play, I always choose the Butcher just for this ability. It's surprisingly overpowered.
Pathfinder allows Mr. Peterson to see the traces that kids leave behind in the air, which helps him track them down. Fake Crows allows Mr. Peterson to place a fake crow, a fake version of crows that would notify kids where he would be in the house, to trick kids. The final neighbour class is the Ghost Neighbour, who has Spirit Form, Teleportation, and Lights Out. Spirit Form allows Mr. Peterson to be a spirit that will emit a freezing aura toward a kid, and the chase music won't play while in this form. Teleportation allows Mr. Peterson, while in spirit form, to pass through walls. Lights Out allows Mr. Peterson to make all the lights in the house go out, and then emit an ominous laugh.
The gameplay part was longer than the story part. This doesn't feel right.
Anyway, the art style in this one is also pretty much the same as the first game, with nothing that much to note about apart from like a new window model, which is still not bad at all.
So, after the release of this cool new multiplayer Hello Neighbour game, you think that the series would still be faded into obscurity. But actually, a lot of popular YouTubers like Dorko, 8-Bit Ryan, and DanTDM started getting into the series again and playing it. Even though some of these YouTubers that I'd mentioned had heard of Hello Neighbour and played some of its games in the past, a lot of YouTubers who hadn't even heard of the series before got into it because of Secret Neighbour. Heck, even the now video producer of Tiny Build, Adam, had gotten into Hello Neighbour because of Secret Neighbour. But sadly, good things don't last forever. The Hello Neighbour series, after only weeks of Secret Neighbour being out, just faded into obscurity again, and the general public just went back to not caring anymore.
In my opinion though, I really enjoyed Secret Neighbour. It's a nice, fun twist on the Hello Neighbour concept that I think was good to have gained traction, even if it was just for a few weeks or so.
So now that we have discussed the cool release of Secret Neighbour, it's now time we move on to Hello Neighbour. Sorry guys, I really tried to avoid this one. Yes, hello, evil child. Oh, I mean Anderson. Yes, I know, I shouldn't have avoided it. This does have to be a full retrospective after all. Wait, what? You're burning my house down tonight? And after you made me a Christmas card? But you do want your house back, don't you? Ah. Alright, good one, yeah. You got me there. Yes, alright. See you then. So... ever heard of Hello Engineer?
Yeah, so after a ton of announcements for the Hello Neighbour franchise in 2020, like an animated series, books, and Secret Neighbour updates that are still happening today, this weird concept of a Hello Neighbour game was announced, named Hello Engineer.
Now I want you to think about the name Hello Engineer. What kind of game do you think that name would revolve around? And what kind of gameplay do you think that game would have? Well, if you thought building giant mechanical cars in an abandoned Golden Apple amusement park built by the infamous theme park designer Theodore Masters Peterson, who then builds a giant mechanical spider that you have to defeat by going through these obstacle courses, then you would be correct.
Yeah, so Hello Engineer was announced pretty much completely out of nowhere and then released on the 26th of October 2021 as a Stadia exclusive. You know what? I do not even care anymore. So let's get on to the story. The story of this one is pretty much about as small as Secret Neighbours.
Hello Engineer is about the same kids from Secret Neighbor sneaking into the old abandoned Golden Apple amusement park, once built by Mr. Peterson, to scavenge parts for their inventors club that's held in an old RV. They end up getting trapped in the amusement park though, so are forced to build weird contraptions with the parts that they find to escape the park. Little do they know though, that Mr. Peterson is there with them, following their every move and trying to stop them. They end up getting through all the weird obstacle courses in the park, and then finally defeat Mr. Peterson. They then go back to their RV to take a picture of their newly made vehicle, and then somehow get transported back to the first area where they started, suggesting that there's a time loop. The story in this one is probably the hardest to try and fit into the timeline, and I'm not bothered to figure it out, so let's move on to the gameplay. So, the main concept of Hello Engineer is to make different types of cars to pass different types of obstacle courses to complete the level. Sounds simple enough, right? Oh, to be young and naive.
Oh, I can see outside of the map, so that's interesting. I don't think yeah.
You should just be able to come up with like jumping.
Man, what am I playing? It's not functioning. I can't even beat this level because why? I don't understand why the car flips itself over and why there's no option to fix that. I have to have the car right side up so I can drive it to the button, but it turns for no reason. It just flips itself. The driving just feels so jittery. It's like bump 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 bump. Like it's so bad.
The gameplay of Hello Engineer absolutely baffles me. It makes no sense for a Hello Neighbor game. It's pretty much a copy of this other game called Scrap Mechanic, and to top it all off, it works like absolute shit. Why do I even like this series? I just had to get that out. The art style in this one is actually quite different. It's quite similar to the newer games that we have now. Oh, about that, let's move on to the next game that's still in development and quite recent. I played Hello Engineer for 30 minutes, it was horrible. Okay, let's move on now. Quite recently, at the time of making this video, it was announced on the Hello Neighbor Games Discord server that a new Hello Neighbor mobile game would be released in early access to specific countries. A few hours later, a game called Hello Neighbor Diaries was released on the App Store and Google Play to select countries. The story of this one, at least at the moment, follows Nicky Roth again, presumably after the events of Hello Neighbor's finale. He looks through an old box of his childhood things and finds a picture of Aaron, his old friend. Nicky goes back to his dreams again to try and figure out his old memories of Aaron Peterson. From what I know, this game doesn't actually have an ending. It's still in development though, and could change completely on release, so this is really the story for now. The main goal of Hello Neighbor Diaries is to use a camera to collect memories in this imaginary version of Mr. Peterson's house that grows more and more as memories are collected. Nicky can use different abilities to sneak into Mr. Peterson's house, like X-ray glasses and springy shoes. Yeah, I think that's actually all the abilities we have in the game at the moment. The art style in this one is actually quite different to the other games as well. It's more similar to the new art direction of the games that we have now, which makes sense since this was released recently. That's kinda it for this one. There isn't much to write home about, but this game is still in development by Eerie Guest, and could change completely as development evolves. As far as relevance goes though, the series still lay dead at this point, and no one really cared for this new game in the franchise. Okay, next one is... oh, I guess I've covered every Hello Neighbor game. Except for one that I had saved for last. The one that was the reason I made this video. The one that I and a lot of other Hello Neighbor fans are very excited for. The one that is still in development and fast approaching. And that one is Hello Neighbor 2. On the 23rd of July 2020, a mysterious teaser livestream was released that led up to the announcement trailer for Hello Neighbor 2, the official sequel to the original Hello Neighbor game. 2 alphas, a beta and a demo have been released, and the full game is due to come out on December 1st for people who buy the deluxe edition, and December 6th for people who buy the standard edition. There are also 3 DLCs planned to release alongside the standard edition that people who ordered the deluxe edition will get on the day. There technically isn't really a story at the moment, even though multiple builds have been released, but have all been confirmed to be non-canon. To sum it up though, the main concept of Hello Neighbor 2 is that you play as Quentin, a journalist who moves to Ravenbrooks to investigate the 3 missing cases of Nikki Roth, Maya Peterson, and Aaron Peterson. The more you get into the story though, the more you realise that the entire town is involved, starting a larger mystery, all starting with the infamous boogeyman of the town, Mr. Peterson. Even though I haven't played the alphas or the new demo, I have played the beta, which showcases most of the game, and what I will say about the gameplay is that I find it really interesting, and I like the concept. In Hello Neighbor 2, there are now multiple houses to break into instead of 1, as well as new neighbours. There are multiple inhabitants in this new game, like the mayor, the baker, the taxidermist, or Otto, Officer Nielsen, and of course, the classic Mr. Peterson, who will do anything to stop you from finding out their secrets. All the neighbours in Hello Neighbor 2 are meant to work on a neural network, meaning that they will learn from the entire community as a whole, instead of just one player individually. Going away from the AI though, the puzzles, at least judging from the beta, are definitely better in my opinion. They seem to be clearer now and are easier to figure out, while still being interesting and creative. Hello Neighbor 2 also relies heavily on vaulting, which can help you climb to new areas. It can be a little janky at times, but it usually isn't game-breaking and most of the time works fine. The art style in this one, if you couldn't already tell, has been highly improved and looks very different from the first games. This was sort of the start for the new art style that appears in Hello Engineer and Hello Neighbor Diaries, and seems to be staying for a bit, which I honestly don't mind. It looks really cool in my opinion, and fits the series very well. Judging from what I've seen and played so far, as well as the recent full game leaks found in the demo files, in my opinion, Hello Neighbor 2 looks promising, and I'm looking forward to it. All I am going to say about the full game leaks though, to avoid major spoilers for a lot of my viewers out there, is that there will be answers as well as questions. So that's... Sorry, just had to make sure. So that's all the Hello Neighbor games. In conclusion, no matter what weird turns this series will take, or what bad decisions it will make, I just can't help but love this series.
watching me from my bedroom window? I've been talking about Hello Neighbor for nearly a month. It's Christmas. Okay. Well, apparently I've been loving this series a little bit too much. It's Christmas, and my presents are probably ready. I should really go down there and join my family to celebrate the true meaning of Christmas. But you know... Ugh, I don't know. Maybe I was going a little bit too harsh on Hello Engineer. Besides, maybe when Stadia becomes more popular, the game can finally shine and show its good part. Ah. What? I didn't talk about Hello Guest? Well, it's an alpha, so it doesn't count. Damn it. Just need a little bit more time before I can get him.